Hello. Would you believe that there are some fascinating sources for dealing with the online tools? Some of it actually comes right from scripture. I'm talking about First Samuel chapter 17 and a few other more entertaining ideas. My goal is to share uh, some tips that I've learned over the years on how to deal with online tools or internet tools. If you don't know what that means, I'll explain it in just a second. But I want to welcome you to Inspiration Point Podcast. In this podcast, I like to share ideas and such from scriptures and elsewhere that are designed to help you in your daily walk, overcoming adversities like social anxiety, all that fun stuff. Now, let's get down to the main reason you're here. How do I fight these trolls? These trolls that are driving me nuts. What I'm going to share is based on an article I wrote uh, for a forum some years back. The way, first, it helps you, if I explain what a troll is in case you somehow don't know. A troll in on the internet is nothing more than a loudmouth bully or somebody who's just bored and love causing trouble. Basically, that's what they are, troublemakers. Not to be confused with the trolls that you may have heard of from fantasy role playing games. Although that is going to be a little bit of an inspiration here, and you'll find out. So, what uh, became the framework? In fact, the fantasy tools I dealt with back in my role playing days are going to lay out the format. First, I categorize them into three types: comedic trolls. These are the guys who are the wise guys that live poking fun at whatever you're doing, ridicule. They're usually bored. Okay? They stumble on your stream or your blog and say, ooh, let's take some pot shot here. Let's distract the guy in whatever he's doing. And if you're a gamer and you're streaming, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They could be a royal pain in the butt. However, now this is where First Samuel 17 comes into mind. If you don't know, that's the story of David and Goliath. The children of Israel, who full grown men actually, gotta love it when they say children, descendant of Israel, had a problem. They were facing an army, and they had the big champion who was roughly 9 foot tall. Yeah, that was Goliath, the giant, and it was amazing. The common soldiers, everybody were looking at him and going, "Oh my God, the giant!" Oh! They were afraid. They were intimidated. Kind of like what a lot of us sometimes are when you get some more nastier type trolls, bullies, and thugs. And yeah, David had a different view. It was more like, who's the loudmouth over there? Look like he needs to get a butt kicking. He's offending uh, my Lord, my God. He disparaging all this. Is anybody gonna kick his butt? Oh, okay, I'll do it, King. Don't worry. This guy will be like the lions and bears who I delivered sheep out of. That was his attitude. Can do. And if you read a little bit further in, David had some interesting view about that. He had no problem getting down and dirty when it was needed with Goliath. And sometimes you have to. Mhm. But not that shouldn't be the first step. With comedic trolls, I kind of compared them to Forest Trolls, so I probably shouldn't. Oh God! And basically, and I found some internet tip. One said, "Don't feed them, ignore them." That's why those comedic trolls are usually there. They're bored. They want attention. Ooh, and if you give them attention and energy, it's like, ooh, they win the victory. They're not there usually to cause harm because they're not thinking that. They're not the malicious type, but they don't, that doesn't mean they give a crap about you. That's why it's often recommended. Don't feed them, don't give them attention, don't give them what they want. Then they get bored, hopefully disappear. But sometimes those trolls, comedic trolls, can be useful in terms of um, causing you to be aware, because you do need to take note. Like, oh, hey, I got other people showing up here new. And I like the following tip that was given. Uh, and that is to say, oh, I see I got some newcomers here, some wisecrackers. Do you guys even know what I'm even talking about? Or you just throwing dust just to impress yourself. That's one of the things that was being given. Use wisecrack if, because sometimes you might have some new people who show up and they don't think to say anything because they don't know what's going on and they hope you. Sometimes that's why I say those comedic trolls could actually be helpful, especially if you notice that they don't come in pack, just one or two, maybe three. But if you see a bunch of other people there, they may not have thought to say, hey, what's this stream about? I want to be nice. And that's the thing about trolls. You see, they get off their butt and say things, even if you don't like it. That's, that's one type. Then you got the other type who actually, if you're doing a gaming stream or a game channel, you're gonna love this one. I usually would call them the rules lawyers, or others I would call them the know-it-all tools. They know everything there is to know about the game you're playing. They know everything they think they do about Christian theology, whether it's Calvinism, what have you. And they just love to impress everybody. And unfortunately, you got the trolls who really only use their knowledge to their advantage, to their benefit, and not you or anybody else. It's nice if you get the one who is acting like Mr. Know-it-all and actually uses. I'll give you a great illustration. Years ago, I knew two guys from my old role playing group. Uh, One guy, he knew everything there was about the game, but he used his knowledge to help other players, including me. And that was great. Appreciated that. But unfortunately, there was another guy who was also a know it all, and he only used his to benefit himself, nobody else. And the only way to really deal with it is, is to check to see is he actually saying anything worth noting. Great. If he is, say thank you. But you please, but be firm. But don't let them get away with being rude and obnoxious. You don't have to do that. In fact, there's a tip saying, hey, put some policy about how you are and what you'll tolerate and not. Uh, mhm. And it also helps. If, actually, it would help more if you had some moderators when you have a much bigger channel, somebody that can help you out. That's why it's been suggested get some friends to help you. Hmm. Yeah, I just felt like I shouldn't use the uh, the dumb, colorful analogy I used to use. Then there's the last one. If the number is troll type number 3, you do not want to put up with. That's the one who is deserving of the ban hammers. And I've learned about that. It's a tool that moderators and the streamers have for putting a stop. The reason why you do that is because those guys are toxic. They attack other people, they drag everyone else down. They're not there to show off some knowledge and impress anybody. They're not there just to have some fun and be a goofball. They're there for only one reason: destroy. And those are the guys that really want because they're gonna hurt your channel. They're gonna hurt. I had a guy who actually I thought was a troll. He actually came as a troll, but the thing is, I didn't know how to deal with him at first, and it ended up being a distraction and not helpful. He really wasn't there to be helpful, so I had to uh, take some action and put a stop. Uh, yeah, but I'm sure. But I haven't. And he thinks he won. He actually lost. I think he might have been a know-it-all type. Who knows? But unfortunately, the problem was he was becoming a distraction because he was using arguing and getting me so wrapped up in that and not paying attention to what I should be doing. I should have just ignored him. That was my mistake. That's why, probably one of the reasons I'm sharing is to help people who may have had encounters and whatever. Now, that's great if you haven't run into that, but there's another part that needs to be dealt with. And that is this. Very seldomly does a person go unscathed sometime by some of the crap that people put out with the attacks and everything else. And yes, contrary to popular myth, words do hurt, and if you take it in, it can have some unpleasant effect. That's reality, okay? That's not a word of face thing. Uh, the right to give warning about the power of our words, to think before we open up our mouth, but not so sure I go quite as far as they do. But it is reality. It is not a sign of weakness if you feel pain or hurt by the crap that they say, especially if they're spewing lies and deception, whatever. But the thing is, what you don't want to do is hold on to it. Don't hold on to the painful thing that people say. Because guess what? They're the one with the problem. And what I've had to do was forgive people who open their mouth and say, you know what? I'm not taking ownership of whatever poison dart somebody else throws at me because it's not going to help me. And yes, the Lord has led me to forgive and to keep forgiving and ask His Spirit to come and to deal with the pain of whatever it is. And yes, some of it is minor. I just go, okay, it's real. Or some of it is, not always. But I want to encourage you to think about that. Bring it to the Lord. Ask Him. Don't be afraid. And don't be afraid if it's necessary. So I suggest you get some friends who actually know how to deal with stuff like this. I'm not a fan of, oh, I'm just going to be positive. No, it's one thing to be positive, but be for real, okay? I want to be encouraging, and I don't know how well this is because it's challenging. All right. Folks, but I'm trying to. Oh, okay. All right. Let me check. I just need to see what. Oh, yeah. Sorry, folks, but this is a short video. I wasn't really looking for too much content. Uh, Hope you come by Saturday. I plan to do a much longer stream with a friend of mine, Bill Myers. It should be very interesting and it's related to men. Hopefully, we have a friendly crowd. And you probably figured out that, yeah. All right. Hope you have a blessed day. See you when I see you.